Hello and welcome to DDOCast episode 570, recorded live on Saturday, August 24th. I'm your host, Patrick. With me this week, we have a special guest returning to the show. It's been a while, Samius Gurobo.
Hey, good morning, greetings and salutations.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thanks, man.
It's been a while, but you were on the show like way back when. You've been kind of in and out.
I think I was first on episode like 21 or something like that, maybe
Sure.
16, something like that.
Like 20 years ago.
It feels like it, right? It feels like it. Probably around. I think I had played DDO at that time for maybe 6 months.
Sure.
So, yeah, long time ago.
And you were on. You had a segment, and the name of it just.
I had a Sound Concepts.
Sound
Concepts
yeah.
where I talked about builds and stuff a little bit. It was more about the like moral issues of playing Dungeons and Dragons. So it was more of like, here's a build that doesn't look very good, and you shouldn't just automatically dismiss somebody for putting together a weird build because these are the kind of properties that this build brings to the table. And then it like quickly kind of segmented, because people wanted it to, into more of like the moral issues of like keeping your own loot or what kind of spells should be added to DDO. So it turned into like this really weird thing off of the mail. But yeah, so I guess can I plug my thing real fast?
Sure.
So like I'm actually working a little bit with Patrick here on bringing a new segment back to DDOcast. And if I can actually take the time to get it all done, Patrick's approved it. I'll be returning, and it'll be more of like a DDO Dear Abby, but with Dear Samus. So if you have things like that, it's a really good time to like reach out, get a hold of me, and ask those questions and get those topics, because that's kind of what's holding me back. I want to get like 5 of them in the can so I can send Patrick like, here's 5 of them. Pick whichever ones you think are good and put them on the show. It's part of the reason I'm here now, is to try to get that going again, because I would like to be able to add that back to your DDOcast community.
Little secret about Patrick's approach to segments. If you send it to me and I can listen to it without cringing because the audio quality is halfway decent, it's gonna get played.
I think that's been the trend since DDOcast's beginning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's
and I should say, as long as it's not mean, right? Like standard rules apply in terms of that. But yeah.
Exactly.
And we'll talk about more about that later too. But then of course you did the DDO Cocktail Hour with Lessa, which went for 100 some odd episodes, I think.
Man, I'm not even sure anymore. We did it so much, and doing the Cocktail Hour with Lessa became like, it evolved. It was the podcast, and then it mutated into just like a dedicated stream. And then that stream would end up getting like the audio ripped out and slightly edited. Like, it evolved a ton by the time it was, kind of ran into some recording timing issue type things. I don't ever want to say it's dead, because it's the most fun podcast I've ever done. But I'm hoping that Les and I will once again resync our time schedules, and we'll figure out a way to start recording it again.
Yeah. Scheduling never gets easier, right?
It only gets harder.
Until retirement. When you hit retirement, I think it gets marginally easier.
Well, I'm hoping that my schedule will kind of change and adjust and become a little bit more fluid here in the next couple of years. So
sure.
I don't know. It's that uphill battle, right? Uphill battle.
Well, anyways, we'll get kind of back on track here. This week's screenshot: the minstrel Safarina arrives in the City of Towers for her new musical show in the 428th screenshot of the week. Thanks, Safarina, for sending in this week's screenshot. I'm interested. New musical show? Please tell me more. We like to talk about Dungeons & Dragons online nearly every weekend. You can catch us through Twitch, YouTube, DDO forums, iTunes, or from our website, DDOcast.com. DDOCast is hosted by Cyber Ears, the awesome podcast hosting network. Shows are usually available within a few days of recording. The next show will probably be next weekend, and you can stay updated by following us on our social media pages or our website, DDOCast.com, with our calendar. Next weekend, the next show topic will probably be, I think it's about time we do kind of a raid guide, or our typical raid guide for Too Hot to Handle and Project Nemesis. So we'll kind of start talking about that next week. Starting to work on lining that up. This week, we're going to talk about the game news stuff, but our kind of topic discussion with Samius today will be the hardcore experience. This will be less tips and tricksy, more like, hey, how's hardcore going, and do we like it, and kind of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where we're going today, and we will kick it off with game news. We did have a new update today, or this week, patch, rather. Update 42.5. Boy, it's been a while since we've gotten to a 0.5, I think. Like, that's not a normal occurrence, but they kind of... It's a little surprising. It almost feels like they should have just made the whole Hardcore League experience changes, Reaper changes. Like, why wasn't that just an update in and of itself, right? Probably because there was no content, but... Anyways... the notes. So this was released on Wednesday, August 21st. On the hardcore server, they corrected an issue that prevented some characters from being able to interact with mortality and receive their earned rewards. That's good. It would really suck if you went to mortality and was like, nope, not talking to you. Like, okay, well, I'll work on the next reward, and then you died and lost it. That would be lame.
Yeah, that would be real tough. Death comes fast and furious on the hardcore server.
Yes, it does. Although, honestly, not as fast as I thought it would have. I was expecting that the death messages just be scrolling.
There are windows.
Yeah, there are
windows where they are super fast and furious.
You can definitely tell, right? Like when there's 5 of them that just scroll past and they're all the same level. It's like, I bet that was the same party.
Rip, party wipe, rip. You put your little hand over your chest.
Yeah.
You have a little silent tear.
Yeah. Let's see. Players can now interact with mortality on the non-hardcore servers and receive their earned rewards. Leaderboards now properly update if a character is renamed. That's probably good. Overlevel characters can now enter certain landscape areas they previously could not in order to access at-level quests. My understanding here is that they basically took that level cap off of wilderness areas entirely. Since there are several wilderness areas where there are higher level quests that you would not be able to reach. Bargain of Blood in Staring Heights was one. Anything with an epic version that's in a Slayer area was problematic. They also took Seek Dryden's Council and Gateway to Kyber. They made those also exempted from the overlevel lockout, so that you can get into the right quests in the chain. Although Seek Dryden's Council wouldn't be that. That's Catacombs, and other than the last quest, which is level 4, they're all level 3. So it'd be a little harder to do. Anyways, but Gateway to Kyber definitely would be a problem if you were trying to run that on Epic. Since it doesn't have an Epic version, you wouldn't be able to get to Vaughn 3. Oops. So that's all good. Some enhancement changes. All positive healing enhancements now properly target and affect Pale Master players in Shroud form. That's good. Hey, while we have you here, what do you think about undead Pale Masters getting positive healing now?
Whew, that's a tough one. So as the wizard guy, right, for like 10 years of Dungeons & Dragons, I've had a lot of comments on it. Honestly, especially for the hardcore server, I think it's probably smart. But it kind of has a similar vein as like Warforged taking half healing from positive energy spells, right?
Sure.
So it, like, from a systems point of view and a playing point of view, it makes a lot of sense. But from a lore kind of view, it kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
Sure.
As the guy who's running around with his wizard in Pale Master at level 5, trying not to get slaughtered in the marketplace, I'm appreciative of it.
Yeah. I think it's a good change, especially when you start taking into account Reaper mode and how the game has changed, and it's
Yeah,
it's just
I've been
better if everyone can heal you, right?
exactly. I've been trying to tell everybody for the last 6 months or so that the game is like a completely different game in the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, somewhere in this ballpark. It's like a brand new game, and you kind of have to realign your thinking with, okay, that was how DDO was 3 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
now this is how DDO is now, and it's just like night and day difference.
Yes.
So this is just another one of those things. It's like this has been corrected, you know, and I'm waiting for the next thing that's going to be like shocking. Like, wait a minute, this is not right, and then it's like, oh no, this is definitely another positive change.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good about that stuff, I think. And it,
They have been knocking it out of the ballpark
yeah,
for a little while now, like just grand slam after. I think that's the right sports analogy. Just like knocking them out of the park, like left and right.
yeah. Um, let's see, SLAs and Pale Master, Renegade Master Maker, and Beacon of Hope that were erroneously working well under Anti Magic no longer do so. Um, which that is a lore thing, right? Like I saw some people complaining, "Hey, this doesn't work anymore when you're in a Beholder Anti Magic Zone." Like, well, it's not supposed to. Spell-like ability is what SLA stands for. You're not supposed to use a spell, be able to use a spell-like ability if you can't use a spell. That's kind of how it works,
Right.
and
Pale
that's a
or
lore thing.
eyeballs were beholders.
Yeah.
Eyeballs literally were one of the scariest things around because the only person who could do anything was the fighter, and after that, so like it's good that the fighter once again is the king of the beholder fight.
Well, in fairness, if you actually go back to, I actually haven't looked in fifth edition, but in 3.5, right, which is what DDO is underlyingly based on. It's accepted a lot of fourth and fifth stuff into it, but 3.5 is the base layer. That's kind of what the rule set that we're based on. Um, a beholder isn't actually able to use its eye beams in its own anti magic cone.
Correct.
It has to
Correct.
close its eye to use them if you're in that area, right?
Exactly.
Which is not true in DDO. The beholders get to use whatever they want wherever they want. So
Yeah, it's less scary when the beholders are shutting down somebody with the eye beam in the front and then shooting all the way around in the circle. It
yeah,
doesn't quite do as well in DDO as it does in pen and paper. So you give a little, you get a little.
yeah. Let's see. There's a whole bunch of kind of other changes and enhancements in Destinies. Bolden works on Dragon Breath for Dragonborn. Uh, they fixed some vampire form stuff, and the Pale Master SLAs now accept the enlarged meta magic feat, which is great. Fixed an issue with Swashbuckler exploit weakness, so it properly dispels its stack on crit. Let's see, Epic Destinies. Oh, how much do we want to go into this? They fixed a bunch of feats. They added some tooltip stuff. I think I'm just gonna kind of gloss over that. Uh, Unusual Tactics now has the expected name. Interesting. Uh, let's see. I think it's all mostly tooltip and bug fixes. There are some that they initially posted that did not get in there, which they'll get them. That was a mistake, and they'll get them in as the next patch. Let's see. Using Barbarian Rage on a character with divine class levels and a Forgotten Realms DD no longer erroneously grants a bonus to critical threat range. What?
Apparently, this was a little bit of a nerf that people are crying inside about. I don't know. I don't play a lot of stuff over level 20, so I don't play a lot of iconics.
Yep.
But yeah, apparently this really helped.
I mean, it's clearly a bug. Like,
That's just it. It's one of those things where if you're using a bug to your advantage and you like read it and you're like, oh, this is working like this, you can't be upset when it leaves. But yeah,
yeah.
people are secretly dying a little bit inside for some of this stuff.
Well, you remember the Batman builds way back
I
in the
do.
day.
I do.
For those who don't
Exactly
know,
the same kind of thing.
basically evasion back in the day, evasion was not was working with medium and heavy armor, and they were very clear several times. This is a bug. We will fix this. It will be fixed. You will not be able to use evasion in heavy armor. That is not intended behavior. And of course, when they finally fixed it, and I shouldn't say finally. Maybe a couple,
I don't
less than
remember.
a year into the game, I think.
I feel like it was around longer than that.
Maybe I don't remember. Anyways, it was around long enough, but they kept saying this is a bug, it will be fixed. And then when it got fixed, people were like, "Hey, you changed my game and my build." Like, we said this was gonna be fixed.
Yeah, every time I hear someone complain about a change one way or the other, my line is gameplay will change online.
Yeah.
Right? That's literally what it says on the back of the box.
You still have the box?
I do have a box right here. I'm pulling out the box right now to find the exact quote, but it says that somewhere gameplay may change online. Yeah.
No. Let's see. Circle of Death's tooltip now includes information on how many targets it can hit, as does Undeath to Death. The Death Aura, Death Aura now have the correct timing in their tooltip. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here that's tooltip related, but that's so important, right? Because that's when we were just talking about evasion. I'm pretty sure evasion says you have to be in light or no armor, right? You can't be encumbered. So if the tooltip says what it's supposed to do and that's correct, if the effect is then wrong and you take advantage of it, at least they can point to the tooltip and say, "Hey, this is what the tooltip said." If it wasn't doing that, it was clearly a bug. But on the flip side, when you have bugs in your tooltips, then it gets confusing. So, yeah. Let's see. They adjusted some loading screen tips to better reflect new experience mechanics. And the Portal UI now has more up-to-date information on the new Bravey bonus mechanics. That's all good. Update 43 had a second preview on Lemania. I did not pop in there. There wasn't anything I noticed on release notes that would really change, other than the fact that they gave us the names of the 6 quests. But if you were interested in kind of checking that out, you can look on the forums. It was a quick. I think it's already done. It's usually a couple days, but
I think it was just a 1-day preview.
Yeah, it was mostly I think just to check out the quests and stuff like that. But I think people were mostly distracted by hardcore. That's my guess.
I agree.
There is, however, a bug.
This is great. This is amazing.
Are you sure?
This appears to be I've ever heard of.
This appears to be a halo effect of the change, allowing Stay Frosty to scale with spell power. Hitting allies or yourself with helpful spells while Stay Frosty is on is proccing Stay Frosty's damage and slow. I'll have a fix for that in an upcoming patch. When players can hit players, it's always interesting.
Every one of you out there right now who are mass healing raids or anything like that, I want you to bring this in. Goodness. I want you to slaughter that raid party like it's going out of style.
I would like you, if you're a druid on hardcore or any range or whatever on hardcore mode, and you've made it to level 20, get Stay Frosty first, go find Samius in a public area, and cast cures on him incessantly until you kill him.
Come get me. Come at me, bro. I don't know. There's something about that mental picture, right? Of just like, oh man, I forgot to turn on my Stay Frosty. And then you're just like mass healing somebody and the raid wipes. You're like, what did you do? I don't know. I was just trying to help with the DPS. It hits my internal funny button. It feels really funny.
What's the ability in Exalted Angel that was hitting Pale Masters when it came out?
Oh man, that's another one of those things, right? That they were just exploding Pale Masters.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was hilarious, but it was brutal.
Exactly. Now it matters on the hardcore server.
It does.
But on the regular server, it's just good times.
See, bonus days. DDO bonus days will bring you a plus 10% heroic and an epic XP boost through August 25th. This bonus is not available on hardcore server. Again, bonus days events will not be on the hardcore server. However, you can use the store sales, which right now is advance your alts. You can get 25% off of Tomes of Learning, select low-level adventures, plus 2 ability tomes, character slots through August 29th. You can also get a free Serious Heal Potion times 10 with the coupon code HEALS through August 29th. That might be helpful.
I watch a guy who rubs his chin and says, sometimes when he's thinking. It's like, do you think maybe this was designed to help the people on the hardcore server? This is
Well,
really
yes, I would take it one step further and say it's designed to like uh get you hooked on them and say, "Oh, these are really nice. I
oh,
want more."
exactly. It's so good, so smart, such a good plan. And the usually, if I remember right, the serious healing potions are usually able to be used like a little bit earlier, perhaps.
They're
Like they have
usually I'm not sure if these may be a different type. But like the normal healing elixirs, like you drink
the
them,
elixirs. You
they
have
give
they're
you
higher
an
level,
immediate amount, and then they give you some over time.
right? The elixirs are high. That's what I mean compared to the other store stuff, but they're higher level. At least the ones I've been getting from collectibles
Those
are
ones
higher
have
level.
a pretty decent range.
Yeah.
The ones from store, but
So this one I think this one gives you I want to say you can use it at level 0 or 1. So 10 healing potions is pretty good.
yeah,
Figure out when you're going to want those and grab them.
nothing
And
to
of
sneeze at.
course, yeah, it's pretty good. And then I think the DDO bonus days with the 10% heroic and epic XP is like, I'm sorry, I realize that we have drastically reduced the population of the regular servers. So here's some XP to make up for it. It feels really smart. Like this weekend's bonuses feel really smart, is all I want to say. As opposed to the last week of the Cove, which wasn't on the hardcore server.
Much to Les's chagrin.
I mean, mine too, actually. I was like, man, I want to go run. Like, I could get in there, I can farm a bunch of gems, pop back out, make a bunch of air elementals. I'll rock these quests. Nope, that's not a thing that happens.
All right, let's talk about community news. The 347th Chronicle. You can watch Strimtom play on the hardcore server. Not just Strimtom, really. I think there's a lot of people that are streaming.
There's been quite a few people streaming the hardcore server.
Very bold. Strimtom. When Strimtom was on the show last time, we were talking about how some people in similar games like made videos of just like supercuts of people dying, like losing their characters. That'd be pretty fun. Let's see. You can also watch Bard Life with Doug Glendower and DDO Players News at episode 234. The comment for the week: what is a good use for full plate other than in battle? Sledding.
Yeah, I remember an old time that they asked this somewhere, and someone was like, you used it to you threw the body onto the firewall, and then that was like your oven, like your portable oven. It was like cooking with Storm Reach or something. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
That's a good idea. The
exactly.
the guild for the week: Valkyries of Kybers, the guild on Kyber server. It is a no pressure, drama free, fun, friendly guild. All things we like in guilds. We got a shout out for our episode last week. You can also check out those meddling kids, Ghosts of Saltmarsh Part 3 on D&D night on DDO stream. That was Geek Mom and Judy doing DMing that one. Not sure if they ended or inside baseball. I'm kind of like taking point on making sure all that stuff gets branded and published out and stuff, but I don't actually watch them all.
It's so hard to watch all the things that are
There's so
DDO
much
related
content.
right now.
It's not even just DDO related, right? Like TV and stuff. Like there's so much content out there. Funny that like there's things in my Netflix queue, for example, streaming queue. I'm never gonna get to. Like I've just accepted. I've actually even taken a few of them off. Like I'm just never gonna watch this. There's too much other good stuff. Uh, and of course, Disney Plus and is coming out with a whole bunch of
Yes.
stuff that I'm really interested in watching. Oh my gosh. Anyways, that may have been their last one. But you can check out D&D night on DDO stream 7 o'clock on Sundays Eastern. I'll talk about that more in a minute. You can also watch Streaming with Even on the hardcore server, Gaming with Rain on Solana. DDOPL folks continue their Warforged series. DDO Wiki Talk with Technical 13 and Freedio with Psycho Blonde. Let's see.
And Samus too, but he doesn't get on the fansite news anymore.
That's so sad. What's up with that?
I don't have any idea. I think people are actually sending stuff off to an email address that I don't have now. So these are definitely people all worth checking out, though. And
Yes.
I would say even more. Just use the hashtag or do the search for DDO,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll find dozens and dozens of streamers pretty much all the time.
Let's see. Speaking of streaming, D&D night on DDO stream Sundays 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/DDO stream. The one this weekend will be the Heroes of Battle Rise, which is what we rebranded the original group as, which I am a player in. I also have my D&D Kasplat, which spin-off of DDOCast, which, by the way, Samus gave me the name for that many years ago when we started.
We don't want to think of all the number of things that Samus doesn't have credit for that is actually out there and doing in the game now.
Hey, I gave you credit for it. I don't bring it up that often.
My friend.
I think I even gave you like 500 points for it too. Like I had this random 500 point code.
I probably gave them away to somebody else.
Anyways, but I have a D&D Kasplat is my D&D night group that I DM with Lessa and with the Damsels and Rent and Tay and Nobob and Draculetta. Also, teaser, it looks like I will be doing another group. It will be less frequent. I'll just get that out right out of the bag. I'm not going to be doing two every month. But I am working on getting out. There's 5 Sundays in September, so we need another one there. And I've been working on a back burner project for D&D night that I think everyone will really enjoy. That will kind of serve as a filler when we need it, or a 5th Sunday kind of a thing. So hopefully we'll have some more content there. If you would like to play in D&D night on DDO stream, or you are interested in forming a group or any of that stuff, you can contact Jerry or Cadorvan on the forums. You can send me an email. I'll get you hooked up. DDOcast@gmail.com. Let us know. We do have an interest in getting more people involved that are interested in playing and stuff like that. So there is opportunities there. We have rotating groups. Mine's been going for a long time consistently. Evil Beakers, Heroes of Battle Rise has been around for a while. It took a break, comes back. But we've got other weekend slots where we're really just kind of rotating through and giving people opportunities. So we have a mixture of long-term running shows and ones that are more kind of more fluid and more changing. So we have a nice mix, I think, of stuff that's going on there. Well, I will say, if you haven't watched the last episode of D&D Kasplat and you've been following it, that one was a lot of fun. There are a few things more enjoyable as a DM than tying your players in knots and watching their gears spin until smoke comes out of their ears, which is pretty much how that episode went.
Yeah, I wish I could make time to join you guys once in a while. I get to catch like little bits and clips here and there after the fact, but my normal pen and paper game is also on Sundays, so my tradition, and they don't want to stream anymore because they feel like they're not allowed to be themselves.
Sure.
They swear like sailors, but or I guess infantrymen. So we don't stream it anymore. So I just I kind of get the opportunity to catch the VODs and stuff like that. And why I'm like waking up in the morning before starting my own stream. So they are a lot of fun. Patrick is not kidding. If you get an opportunity to go and check these things out, please do use the VODs, use the links, try to catch them live. I try to keep an eye on a lot of the chat rooms, so you'll see like Samius Gurobo emotes fly up into the chat rooms. You'll know I'm there. Maybe I'm not all the way there, but I'll be there. So yeah, please come hang out with us on the various streams.
Yeah, we'll talk afterwards. We might be able to. The thing that I'm working on might work well for you, but
okay. You know where I live.
Also for DDOcast, DDOCast, we're still playing. We did Reaver's Fate this week. Boy, I tell you, with the Reaper changes and the XP changes, I'm a little shocked because you can run higher level Reaper, right? Or Reaper at higher levels.
Too good.
It's shockingly easy, but it has definitely those changes have definitely impacted my play, because I'm running, or currently I think 15, 16, but I've been running quests. We ran the Harbinger of Madness chain, the one that's in the harbor. We ran all of those on R3 and pretty much cruised through it. But I never would run that on.
But you were two levels higher than you were like you normally would have ran them.
We were a little higher because we were at 16.
3 levels.
But I never would have bothered running it on more than R1 because usually I was running that stuff at level 17 and stuff like that. But so it's definitely impacting my gameplay a little bit. Just
Yeah,
that
I
explanation.
can't. I'm still having a hard time getting my head wrapped around it now. Um, that's a big change.
Yeah,
It's a huge change. Um,
I think it's good
I don't know
though.
how much you want to get into that. I don't know. It feels too good.
here's
Like
here's
this.
why I say it's good though, because it is positively changing how I play the game.
Well,
Because before, what was the point? If I was level 17, what was the point in running a quest on R3? Your Reaper XP was getting halved, more than halved, I think. Maybe it was halved. Right? Anyways, you lose most of the Reaper XP. So what's the point? Why give yourself the extra challenge if you weren't going to get a good reward for it? But now I am. So I'm having more fun because I'm playing it on a difficulty that's better suited for me and my group.
right. And so my rule of thumb is never poo-poo options. And so I can't be like, oh yeah, this is definitely something that needs to be rolled back. It's just after all this time, it feels too good, like too strong, and I can appreciate it a lot. Um, it's going to take a while to kind of adjust. This is one of those adjustments that, for long term people, it's going to take, I think, a few minutes, because I got used to just doing every single quest on Reaper
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 or whatever at what would be level on normal, right? So you get to like 4 or 5, and then you just started banking XP and doing the Reaper quests at that difficulty. And the changes came out. I've been playing on the hardcore, and then I'm like, oh, I need a break from the hardcore. I want to play on the regular servers. And I'm like, why am I running these quests on this difficulty? I should take my level and then go
Sure.
through. And then I didn't have my I'm like, I don't have my gear because I'm not used to running these quests. You know what I mean? So then I like realized, oh, I need to go get my gear. And then by that time, I had also already taken the next level. So then I was like, well, wait a minute, what gear am I even supposed to have now? Because this is, and it completely threw me for a loop the whole day and a half that I streamed on Solona again.
Which I
Like
think
I just
Severlin
couldn't get
loves
back in the
doing.
funk.
Severlin
Yeah,
has said several times that like he loves changing the meta on the
well, and that's
players.
just it. It keeps it a little bit fresh. It keeps it a little bit
Mhm.
different. And like I said, I was just so trapped in my routine. I'd like, okay, what level are we? Let's go run this quest, this quest, this quest, this quest. Okay, chat, what? Let's do something different. Vote on a different quest or whatever. And otherwise, though, you kind of got in your groove. And now between these XP changes and the hardcore, like everything's been shifted hard. So I love it. I'm not good at it, but I love it.
Did have a little bit of lightning posts, and then we'll kind of get into our main topic for today and talk more about hardcore. Um, Zatsy Jeff said he really hates when people say DDO is doing a cash grab or that it's pay to win. This game is by far, emphasis by far, the best free to play model out there. I've been free to play since the day after it became free. I have earned all the packs, all the races, all the classes just through favor. Yes, I have purchased all the expansions, and I have purchased points once when they were the 3 times bonus. But there's nothing you can't achieve free if you put in the work. Except you can't play on the hardcore server.
You
Uh,
can't. There is definitely an advantage now, for sure.
uh,
I
but
feel like. Oh, go ahead.
this was in response to I asked last week. We kind of talked and thought about is hardcore league a cash grab, which I think is what he's kind of coming out of that.
That's an interesting question. I think I missed that part of last week's episode.
Our conclusion was essentially that is it a cash grab? Well, no. If we kind of went on, we defined what cash grab was, right? Like cash grab being this idea that it's just like a clear grab for money with kind of like minimal or not great benefits, but or like not worth the benefits kind of a thing. Which
Yeah.
this doesn't feel. Hardcore League doesn't really feel like that.
So one of the things that people do get from me is I'm very critical of SSG formerly Warner Brothers, formerly Turbine, et cetera, et cetera. And I haven't actually thought about whether or not the hardcore server is a cash grab. I guess that if you are a little bit cynical, you could see it that way. But I feel like it was a direct response to another game doing something very similar, right? Which I think is smart. That means they're aware of the marketplace and they're trying to react accordingly to the marketplace. And I'm not going to name the other name or what they've done.
Sure.
Well, let's just say it's like Mom Classic. Okay. So in response to Mom Classic, we have this hardcore server thing, and it feels really good, right? You have rewards. It's a season-based type thing. It feels solid. Is there an opportunity there for them to make some money? Of course, and they should, because they're a business. Then they need to keep the doors open. It's really hard to keep the lights on and the servers on when nobody's helping to chip in. There's no content if nobody's paid to develop anything, right? So you have to support the thing, and having it be, VIP only, it kind of feels like an extra reward for VIP people, or incentive for people to even go get like 1 or 2 or 3 months of VIP. I mean, you can get VIP for 3 months for I think $30.
That sounds about right.
If you do a 3-month VIP, I think it's $30. So like, if it's an experience that you want to do, you got to give up a week's worth of coffee. So like, just give it a shot if you're interested, and it'll revitalize. It's like a shot in the arm, and I hope that they keep doing some variations of this idea.
Sure. I mean, there's definitely a question of like, what's it going to do to the live servers? You can't keep doing this, right? Or can you keep doing it? That's an interesting question in of itself. But in terms of like, is it a cash grab? I feel like the answer, this is not a cash grab, because it's providing a new, exciting experience, and people are interested in it, right? So
I agree. And to Mr. Jeff's comments here, I had another fellow come up on the stream, I think like not yesterday, Thursday, maybe Friday morning, had a similar kind of feeling about the game. And I'm just like, man, I pay DDO by the year. I think it costs something like $8 a month.
Something like that.
I'm getting way more than $8 a month worth of fun and enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
I feel like my $8 I'm basically stealing from SSG at this point. By as much time and energy I play into it. And you can do everything for free. I've got my wife's account and my son's account are premium. Yes, I purchased a couple of the expansion packs for them and things here or there. For the most part, they play for very nearly free. So it's like the options are there for you. You can do whatever you want. When they do a cash grab, you'll know it and you'll feel it. I'm not saying that they've not done a cash grab. And clearly the last cash grab, I was completely taken by shock at how well it worked.
The season's pass?
The season, see, you know what I mean? You
that was certainly more of a cash grab than than the hardcore league is, for sure.
Exactly, 100%. Like, this is, if this is a cash grab from a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 1, and where the season's pass felt like an 8. But it sold out, and it sold out so fast, my head spun.
Yeah. Well,
like, how many people have $300 with 1 day notice? It seemed like,
sure,
to be able to drop it, and they sold out right away. So they knew exactly.
I think it took them a couple weeks, but
it was like 8 days, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was 8 days. They sold out of that 1,000. I was like, jeez.
It wasn't a PAX badge.
Exactly.
But
that a PAX badge is coming like a year in advance.
It's true. I mean, that even felt less to me like a cash grab, because I felt like the value of what you were getting was pretty decent.
It definitely was amazing. The value is so totally there.
Yeah, it definitely felt like an effort to make it to create an immediate capital of money, but.
Well, I think they probably had something that they, like a surprise bill or something that they needed or an upgrade or something.
Or
I'm assuming.
Who's their distributor? Is it Daybreak? Is that the distributor? right now.
Don't know who it is right now. Maybe.
There might have been some effort from that side of things too. I don't know.
Like I said, there was definitely a need to generate some
Yeah.
capital, and they did it, and they knew exactly what it's. And right now, I'm like sitting on the live or the hardcore server. I'm like, man, I wish I had these gold rolls every day. But like, if you want to say that they're going to go cash grabby, if they do, all of a sudden, what you'll see is it's going to be like autos boxes and points, or gold rolls will be like reduced price or something with shards to incentivize people to buy shards or something. It'll turn in, it'll be obvious.
Yeah.
And so far it hasn't. It's just been a good play. So I would also put not a cash grab. DDO is great. DDO is fun to play for free. It's even better to play, for a few extra bucks here or there. And obviously it's worth it to subscribe.
Yeah. I think that means we really kind of agree with Jeff there. There is some pay to win ish things, and there are definitely some people on the hardcore server that have bought a bunch of actual shards and gold rolled their way up.
Yes, 100%. I know of at least one person who did that, gold rolled their way up. Which, what are you going to do now? You're level 20. So you bought your way to the one cosmetic, right?
You got the one cosmetic, and you probably pigeonhole yourself so you can't even get on the leaderboard with the favor and Reaper XP part. Yeah, well,
exactly.
Also, you're probably by yourself at level 20, so what are you going to do now?
Also very true. Heaven forbid you don't want to step into a quest alone at level 20.
Ooh.
Yeah. And what are you doing? Like, you're looking at the quest list. It's like Enter the Kobold Scorpion, Monastery of the Scorpion. Like, I don't want to do those quests by myself.
By the way, I forgot to put this in the show notes. I do remember Linabelle made a post essentially saying that there's currently, to my understanding, there's currently a lockout. If you're level 20, you can't run heroic quests at all, not just on Reaper, but at all.
Oh, really?
Hardcore. That's my understanding. It's something they're actively talking about right now, though, so that may change.
Yeah, that seems a little bit wrong.
Yeah, I would agree. In any case, well, let's transition and let's talk about the hardcore experience, right? Like,
talk about all the things that are right.
All the things that we like. How's it going? What's fun? Let's talk about the hardcore experience. So yeah, Mr. Samius, how's it going on hardcore?
I mean, I have so many mixed feelings now that I never thought I would have about DDO again. First of all, I'm going to say I'm having a blast. It is.
Yep.
When I find a carrot I like, I'm one of those people who will just beat that horse with that carrot till it's done. So as everybody knows, I'm going to continue to plug this. I stream like 45 hours a week, and a lot of it's DDO. Most of it probably is DDO. And I've kind of gotten this groove of TRing Samius over and over again, right? So I jumped over to the hardcore league. My one goal is to get on the leaderboard harder than Strim Tom and take a screenshot and just put that everywhere. It's not happening. Strim Tom was number 2 for a while. Until he knocks himself back off the leaderboard, I don't have a chance. But it's been a lot of fun. It encourages all the things that the permadeathers say that you get, right? And that's why I think the permadeathers do so much better than like the rest of us. So like deaths matter, teamwork matters, communication is key. Like all these things are all the things that permadeathers talk about. Just go look at a permadeather experience if you want tips. Like that's the advice I'm going to give for learning how to play on the hardcore server. But the experience of things mattering again. So like, for example, my main character Samius is level 7, but the people that I was playing with, primarily like Top Hat to Lab, you can check him out over at his Twitch channel, Top Hat to Lab, and I and a couple of other viewers, there was a couple of deaths. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to put a pin in Samius. I'm going to help my other guys get leveled up, right? So it's like, now I'm sitting there, Samius is at this place, he can't do anything because he doesn't have a team. and I'm watching my compatriots try to get back up to where Samus is at, and we just inevitably something weird will happen or somebody will die. I can tell you, I probably have lost at least 10, if not 12 wizards at level 5 or 4 or 5. And I finally got one over like at 5 and was doing well, and I started getting a little bit leery and croak. So that's that excitement, that feeling. I mean, if I lose some time with Samus, like I die in a quest and I have to get out, then I feel bad, like I lost some time, or I feel bad that people see me die on stream or whatever. But it doesn't really affect me. But people die over here on this hardcore server, and it's worse for your friends.
Yeah.
Right? If I die, whatever, I can roll a new character. I'll start catching up. But if my actions get a friend killed, I feel bad for the whole rest of the day. So I don't know if you're ready for me to go in this a little bit more, but again, I was playing with Talab and a couple of other people. And Talab, like, okay, well, I'm going to make a coffee. We had just done Bottery Cotterman's 1 and 2, right? You can only do those on normal, like elite. So he goes in on Reaper 1, goes AFK.
Uh-oh.
I'm not paying any attention, right? I'm like, okay, well, I've been doing really well. I can, and doing all these quests on elite, I can go solo the first room or two, no big deal. I walk in, first guy, start killing him. Second guy gets out around the boxes, walks over, spawns a Reaper, a Carnage Reaper. I immediately start saying, Carnage Reaper, get out, you know what I mean? And I realize Talab's not there.
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, I gotta solo this Carnage Reaper. So I'm like trying to kill this Carnage Reaper, trying to kill it, almost have him dead, double shot, I'm done. And one of the other players, Forehand in the group, tries throwing a potion at me because he's an arty. And that I don't know how exactly the Reaper aggro works, but it forehand moved that attention. Right? So then he's like, oh, the Carnage Reaper's on his way, I'm out. Boom. I'm just yelling at Talab to get out of the quest. Staring at the purple screen. I'm just like, Talab, get out of the quest. Go, go, go. I watch his health bar fall to half. Like, run away. Boom. Joins me in the place. And I just was like, oh, I'm devastated for the whole rest of the day. I'm just like, ah.
I don't know. I would say if you go AFK in a quest, you're putting. We had someone in my guild who went AFK at the start of a dungeon, and then stuff spawns at the entrance behind you, and he got hosed because everyone forgot that happened, right? So
right, exactly. Those things didn't matter before, and you get like I said, and just like with the Reapers, if it wasn't Reapers, if that Reaper didn't spawn, I probably would have soloed that whole quest before he came back for coffee.
Sure.
Right? But because that Reaper spawned, and that shock to my system of, wait, what difficulty are we on? You know what I mean? Like that whole experience just kind of like bloosh.
Well, and you're trying to be cautious because you don't want to die either, so yeah.
Well, and that's just like, I was like, all right, well, if I have to give myself for my party members, so be it. I got to kill this Reaper. And I didn't get it. I was like, no, how did I not kill this guy? And it's stuff like that I think is exactly what kind of incorporates the hardcore league experience. And again, I'm going to say go for it, hardcore. How about you? How are you doing over there? I haven't actually seen any streams from you on the hardcore league.
Yeah, I thought about doing it, and then I just wasn't. Partly because I've been doing a lot of pugging. I haven't really had a group dynamic, so I didn't really feel like I'm not really someone who really likes to pull other people into the limelight like that without them like consenting. So I was kind of avoiding do that. I'm doing great. I still haven't died yet, knock on wood. So I've got a character that's holding level 10 right now because he's
nice.
I have one quest left on level 5 to do, and I've got everything else 5 and below on elite. I'm doing really good on the favor. Having a lot of fun. It's a monk.
Are you doing any Reaper XP?
I have 2 Reaper action points
Oh, nice.
currently. I've been doing. It hasn't been a priority for me. But if it's there, I've been taking it. For certain quests. There's certain quests it's just like it's not worth. Especially like at the level that I'm at. I'm still only getting. Part of it is I'm still learning what the new rules are for where Reaper XP and the
So
penalties and
much
stuff.
change.
I know. But I've only been getting like 300, maybe 400 points in a quest at most. So it still kind of feels like maybe not really worth it. At the level that I'm at, you're not getting a whole bunch. So
See, and
some
I
of
would
that
say
risk is
exactly
not
the
worth it.
opposite. I would say exactly the opposite. That those 300 Reaper XP add up so fast. I mean,
do.
yeah, when you're thinking about, oh man, I usually get like, what do you normally get on the live servers for doing a quest in Reaper XP?
I mean, about the same. It would be the same.
So then why are you complaining? No, I mean, I know
Well,
a lot
but
of
on the
people who
live
do do
servers, like, I have all this twink gear. Like, I had to
sure.
rerun Catacombs just to get a Ghost Touch hand wraps, so I'd have something.
Catacombs super important.
Yeah.
No, I mean more like in the epics, the post level
Mm-hmm.
20. I know that, and people are doing like Reaper 3 or whatever pretty consistently, Reaper 5 pretty consistently. So I know that they're used to getting bigger chunks of Reaper XP. But that difference of like the 5,000 or whatever you might or 2,000 or 1,000, I'm not sure what it is. I don't run a lot of stuff over level 20. I was watching the DDO Deep Reap group for a long time because they really were exciting to me because they were doing this crazy stuff on Hard Reaper. And I always felt like they're like, yay, we have 6,000 XP, like 6,000 Reaper XP. Like that seemed like a lot of work for that much, you know what I mean? But
Sure.
it was fun to watch.
Mostly the Reaper thing, like it hasn't been like I would like to achieve those goals. I'm kind of focusing more on the favor and hitting level 20 goals right now. So it's a risk reward thing, right? Like there's some quests that I just don't really feel like doing on Reaper and taking that risk.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe they're longer quests. There's parts that are kind of tricky that I know are going to be a thing. So that's kind of a concern. But it really honestly has more to do with what the LFMs are than anything else.
Right. Well, when you don't have a group, it gets tricky.
Yeah, like I did Sharn on Reaper, I did Catacombs on Reaper, but there were groups and they were kind of going, and it made it easier. But as someone who doesn't I don't have a party of people. Also,
right.
I've been there's a couple people in a guild that were just like dying consistently at like level 4 or 5, because they were doing Reaper. There's just more randomization there, right? And I'm trying to. The Reaper goal is not really what I'm focused on at the moment. So that's part of it. But I think it really just comes down to back to LFM. Like, what are the LFMs up that people are running?
And that's one of the
so
things that's different for me on the hardcore as opposed to like Solona. They're LFMs, and LFMs are something that I usually like. For me, I don't do LFMs. I let the viewers in the chat room, if they're level appropriate and on the server, they are welcome to join me, right? Like that's the rule that I go with, exactly for the same reasons that you just said. You don't want to pull people into the limelight, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure, yeah, makes sense.
So if you voluntarily join me because you're in the chat room, you die at your own risk. I mean, you play at your own risk. But it is weird. It's something that hasn't happened because at least on Solona, people have kind of gone to guilds primarily or to chat groups to put together LFMs or stuff like that. And then sometimes they'll like have the last couple of slots or whatever for just general pug work. But this on the hardcore server, there's pugs as far as the eye can see.
Yep.
It seems absolutely insane.
There are diminishing return though. As you get higher level, there's clearly fewer people at those levels.
That's true. But again, it's just showing you people are remembering what it's like to play in the olden days of DDO.
A little bit, yeah.
So yeah, it's good. Like for example, me, when I inevitably die somewhere in the harbor at level 5, it's because I have started my character level 1. I've cleaned up the gear, gone and grabbed like 50 plat out of the bank, because don't get more than that. I go buy the harbor level 1 barbarian, grab whatever spell components that they didn't give me, because I've been actually playing Iconics on the hardcore server. Some of the Iconics are great. I don't like Iconics as a rule. I'm going to throw this as a quick aside. I don't like Iconics as a rule. I don't like the idea of jumping to level 15. I have a really tough time of like putting my character together at level 15. I need to level it through, and it makes no sense for me to play those levels to like get the experience, you know what I mean, that I need to play a character after level 15. That's one of the reasons I don't care for Iconic. But you can play these Iconic races now on the hardcore, and you start at level 1. So now I'm starting to experience life on the Iconics for the first time ever, really. And some of them are really good. Some of them are really fun. Like, I'm really loving the Dark Gnome, or
Deep Gnome.
Deep Gnome, thank you. I keep calling it a Dark Gnome.
Yeah.
The Deep Gnome, I really love him. Like, it might be the best race in DDO. It just might straight up be the best.
I'd probably lean more towards ASMR, but sure.
ASMR, very strong.
Yeah.
Very, very strong as well. But like I said, a lot of these things I don't really experience. We had a really good group with the Bladeforged Paladin, like really good luck with that guy as well. And a lot of these things, because I just don't care for that kind of experience, I don't get a chance to check out very often. But now because of this, I'm checking them out, you know? So again, another side effect, another advantage of the hardcore league that I didn't expect. So anyway, I grab my little stuff from level 1. I drink my potion. Me and my hireling walk into whichever quest I want the hireling to do. On Elite, I do like the first 4 or 5 quests in the Korthos, and I immediately jump to the harbor at level 2 on Reaper 1. I can get almost all the way through, and inevitably there will be a harbor or a quest in there somewhere that causes me a problem.
Yep.
And then I like get all the way to like level 4, level 5, and then something weird will happen, and bam, start back over again. So yeah, there's definitely, I think there's a crossover point where you need to start being more careful. And I'm going to put this under the lessons learned section. I'm good at talking, by the way.
It's fine.
Those of you who've never hung out with Samius Gurobo over at his Twitch channel, he's able to fill the dead air. So I feel like the chief lesson, and if you only take one tip out of this entire experience from me, there's a moment in everybody playing DDO where you become complacent with the game, right? That is your death nail.
It's true.
The second if you have to be totally on guard for it, like nonstop, because the exact moment you become complacent, you'll make a mistake, and you'll be in over your head, and you'll die. 1000%. That's what happens to me. Like, oh man, I'm level 5. I got my acid ball. I've got my webs. I don't care. I'm good to go. Bam, dead. Oh, okay. Do it again. This time I'll be more careful at level 5. Bam, knock out that quest at level 5. Bam, knock out that next quest at level 5. Awesome. I have XP for 6. I got a couple more 2s I want to knock out, or 3s, or whatever, before I take level 7. It's going to be great. I'm going to finally get my level 6 wizard. It's going to be awesome. Bam, dead. You know, it's just, you've got to be on guard for that.
So in all the parties I've been in so far, only 6 people have, I think 6, might be more now. But like there haven't been a lot of people that have died in the parties I've been in. But the first 3 people that died were all people that got ahead of the group or went in a different direction and thought they could handle what was down that road, and they got killed.
Exactly.
And one of them even blamed it on lag, which was hilarious.
There's some amount of lag. I feel like after the update, it's helped a lot.
Yeah, but you know, in the second part of STK, where the first key is, where there's a rock, there's an earth elemental, an ogre, some wolves, and
don't go do that alone.
He aggroed all of that alone, and then complained about the lag, and that's what killed him. I'm like, I'm not giving you sympathy for that. That actually happened
That
before I even got in the
seems
quest, though.
unlikely. Yeah.
But
I mean,
probably one of my favorite moments, and I'm sorry if this person is listening to this, but running Delaras Part 1, and the trapper ran face first into a cold trap, and
yeah.
boom, he was gone.
So
And I
I guess
laughed
we can
so
call
hard
that
because it was
we can
hilarious.
call this moment 2, right? Moment 2. Don't think you remember where all the traps are at.
Yeah.
Trappers. Put your points in spot. So on my wizards, I've been maxing out on all of my characters. I've been maxing out spot as best of my ability because my memory is not that great when it comes to these things.
Well,
Like
there are
even though the
places where
quests
there's
that I've been running
randomized
forever,
traps too.
I mean, that is a thing, I suppose. I'm trying to think of some of the quests before in level 20 and above. Maybe some new ones in Sharn.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the traps are not randomized from below level 20.
Mostly no.
If you're over level 20, then you don't need any tips from me. You're you're infinitely better at the game than I am. But put your spots in there. We were doing, is it Red Fang, the Unbridled, or something like that? The little spider quest.
Yeah.
And I kind of remember where a lot of the traps are at. So I'm like warning my trapping buddy where the traps are at, whatnot. And we get to that room with all the poison traps, and he gets the first one. And I'm about to say, like, hey, why don't you drink a poison pot? Do you need one from me, et cetera, et cetera. And he walks a little bit too far because the spot doesn't go off. Ding.
Yep.
And me and the other people in the party just kind of like virtually look at each other.
Like, we're leaving.
I'm like, so I can get us through here, but it's going to be real shady. Like jumping around and doing stuff. And they're like, no, we can just leave. I'm like, all right, deal. 3 calls.
Well, we ended up doing Delara's Part 4. The one guy that I'm amazed he didn't die. He was just zerging through the whole Delara's chain. But we didn't have a trapper, so he was running through all the traps, and someone else bought a rogue hireling to use, and then you know where that there's a poison trap with the boxes on the other side. It was like, now what do we do?
Exactly.
Actually, we figured it out. The guy who ran ahead came back. We told the hireling to defend him, and the hireling ran through the trap and got in a position where he could find the trap to disable it.
Oh man, so convenient.
I was actually amazed at how well that idea worked.
Yeah, the hirelings
I threw it out
really
there
well.
kind of like a Hail Mary, like, well, you can try this. It'll work. It's great. But yeah, don't outrun the trapper. Even if you're the trapper, don't run the trapper.
No, be smart. That's just it. Like I said before, complacency will kill you.
Have you unlocked the House P buffs yet?
I've got,
because I have been
one of the
going
guys
there
that we were
lot.
playing with. I don't know if Samus has unlocked them or not. I think so, but I haven't. Again, everybody that Samus was playing with died. So I haven't had much chance to play Samus in the first day we like power level to like 8 or 9 XP wise. And so Samus is at 7 banking like the 2 levels basically.
Sure.
And then his party all wiped. So he's currently the highest person that I play with. So everybody else I've been playing with is under leveled compared to him. So it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll just sit here and wait to do 4s to finish my 4s before I level. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do know at least one other person has been using the House P buffs quite a bit. They're pretty good again.
Yeah, resist energy and jump. It's been really helpful.
Yeah,
I've
they're
been
really
going
good.
there a lot. The other lessons that I kind of learned was some quests are a lot easier in heroics than they are in epics.
That is pretty much 100% the truth.
Like, prove your worth. On epic, there's a shaft that is full of spikes that will probably kill you in one shot. Any one of them. In heroic, it's just a nice leisurely jump down a bunch of ledges. And there's no spinner traps that just like pop out of the ground and home in on you or stuff like that.
Right. Said it is a different world. Again, if you're a person, because I don't think you spend a lot of time TRing, if I remember correctly. You're mostly
more than I have in the past. I have been, but it's not the heroic. world has not really been a favorite place, and I'm just not very fast at it, just because my schedule is such that it's really hard for me to get a static group and to like really leverage grouping mechanics as well.
Right.
So I'm usually beholden to a lot of pugs or soloing or whoever I can get to go with me, kind of a thing. So I haven't done a lot. I think the new XP rules and Reaper rules and stuff will make that experience better.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to help because it's going to widen out the number of people that you can play with.
Yeah, so that's gonna help things a lot. And I do have an ambitious project to work on getting my tank up to some completionist kind of stuff, which is gonna take probably 4 years. But such is life.
And you got time, right?
Yeah.
But
But
what I was
yeah,
going to say
this
is
has
that
been a really
we're definitely playing in two different worlds.
yeah.
You're basically the guy post level 20. I'm the pre level 20,
That's fair.
and like that's just it. That you don't think about the differences, and that's another reason why it's a whole new game.
Well, there's been several points where it's like running a quest. Hey, a chest. Wait a minute. Is there a trap on this chest?
I don't.
I
You
don't
better have your
remember.
spot.
When was the
Better have
last
your
time I
spot.
opened this chest? I'm gonna stand back here and let him open that chest.
That's right. That's right. I
So,
said spot is super important. Super important.
yeah, I mean, my muck has actually been spotting some, which is surprising, but that's clearly not going to last. It's not like I invested in a spot in him. He's not trying to trap or anything. So, but
Yeah,
I'm having a lot of fun though. I'm really enjoying the experience. I hope a lot of other people are as well. It's been enjoyable.
it is. It is crazy. It is crazy fun. I cannot. I am a person who not poo poos. Les was one of my best buds. Not poo poos permadeath, but it was never something that got me very excited.
Sure.
It was like, no. But the hardcore league, adding the competition to the leaderboard, I think makes a huge deal.
Well, also
Huge
the
difference for it.
cosmetic rewards, right? Like that's what I'm working towards, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. If that wasn't there, would I do it? Probably not. I don't think I would.
Yeah, I have to do it. In my mind because of the work aspect of it. And at first it's really weird. I started like, all right, well, I'll do it on Wednesdays for the follow the noob after Jerry and the evening stream on Wednesdays. But I just completely fell in love with the newness of it.
Yeah.
Again, things that you don't experience anymore on live. Looking at every single piece of randomly generated loot. Not only looking at it for yourself or what you can sell on the vendor, but for your other party members. It's like, hey, here's some fortification bracers. Does everyone have fortification of at least X? Oh, I don't. All right, well, can you use bracers? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Or healing sticks, not healing sticks, but any spellcasting stick.
Sure.
Hey, here's a X of X lore. Is anyone doing that? Or anyone looking at doing that? Oh, yeah, I am. Okay, sweet, here. And that teamwork has taken over, where before it's like, all right, just whatever. Sort by gold value, take it, check it to see if it's something absolutely bonkers, and just go sell it to the junk vendor. That mindset is different.
I've been hoarding elemental absorption items I've been finding.
That too. So I usually like using my shield as my spell casting augmentation, spell power. There we go, spell power.
Sure.
Item, right? But now I have a shield that's like 10 hit points and like 12% electricity absorption. And I'm like, this will never leave me until we're out of Kobold Lightning Bolt range. It'll never.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's like, Arr! And then at some point I want to get into what to farm, like low level farming, because I feel like that's really important. Because there's a lot of really good, really interesting gear, and I would like to have more ideas. We don't have to get into that right now if you don't want to.
No, it's probably outside of the scope of it. I will say that the one thing I did kind of stumble into is, like I started from a standpoint of I'm not going to invest into UMD because Ray's dead isn't going to be worth anything. And then I realized that oh, I don't like the only way I'm probably gonna be able to have shield is if I find some shield wands, right, and stop those magic missiles, and that's gonna be important later. But then I realized that UMD at lower levels, this I've been sinking my skill points into balance a lot of points into balance to help you get up from trips and stuff like that.
Also super important.
But now I'm at the point where like, okay, I need to start maybe investing in UMD. So the last level I took, I dumped almost all of my skill points into UMD, which actually like I realized makes a lot of sense because 1 to 2 points in UMD isn't going to do you pretty much anything for most characters that are running. You need to get pretty high up before it becomes useful, right? So I realized that backloading UMD might have been a really good choice. So I mean, mileage may vary depending on your character and class and stuff, but
like I'm trying to think what the UMD on a shield scroll is. I don't feel it's very high.
I don't know. But it's definitely something that I need to figure out soon.
Yeah.
But I'm also running a character that doesn't have charisma, and like, I don't have an item that adds to my my charisma and UMD and stuff, right? Like it's harder to I have to find that kind of stuff first. So
yeah, I don't. Have I asked what you're playing?
I have a monk is the one that I'm playing, which was really meant to be more of a kind of get started kind of character, but it's doing really well. And then I have a ASMR Scourge that I'm going to make into a barbarian.
Barbarians
which is going to be
super good right now.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of my secondary character, and then I kind of hit on this idea that probably what I'll do is if I have characters die and I need a new one, I'll probably try all the different classes and kind of see which class I can get where, see how I can do in that regards, just kind of for a little bit of a fun thing. Because I like playing different characters and different classes and stuff like that. I'm not really a fan of like I'm not the kind of person that can only play like one kind of build type. Like I like playing different build types, so I'll probably go kind of in that route. We'll see how far I get. So I'm just over 900 favor right now. So
oh man,
yeah,
you're close to some of your next tier, huh?
Well, I got. I mean, it's less than halfway to 1750, and I only have like 400,000 XP. So there's still a long way to go, right? So
well,
I'm a little over a fifth of the way there in XP to 20, and so right now I actually had to stop. I was getting in with a lot of LFMs and running higher level quests, but because I'm trying to like clear out all the favor, I had to stop and focus on that because if I run all the level 7s before I'm that high enough to really use all that experience, I'm going to be really struggling dying in a level. So
right,
but it's been a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it, having a lot of fun doing it. It's been great it's a completely different game all of a sudden, right?
Exactly. That's the thing I've been trying to say this whole show is that it's totally different. It's worth doing. It's worth experiencing it.
Yep.
If even if all you do is like go over there every once in a while, have a little bit of fun, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. It's worth experiencing in it for just that value of something new, and it'll knock you out of your comfort zone again. And I have found that I just want to go play on the hardcore.
Yeah,
I just want to go in there. I just want to be there.
I will say though that I don't care about the leaderboard too much. I think it'd be cool if I was on the leaderboard, which I'm not. But other than that, like, cause there's no real reward other than being on the leaderboard. So
right. Well, and as a person who doesn't care about cosmetics, I want to get on the leaderboard.
I normally don't care about the. I think that I'd be interested in getting cosmetics, but for me it was more of a matter of can I do this?
Right. Well, and that's another part of the challenge, right?
Yeah.
When's the last time you worried about not dying or not whatever?
Not really. Very often.
Yeah. It's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
And sometimes like maybe you get locked out of a quest somewhere and you can't contribute anymore, right? Like the penalty box is really extreme, like in
by the way, on
the Reaver's quest.
A quick aside on that note, if you're running on Reaper and Hardcore and somebody dies, it ports them out of the quest, thereby locking the quest and no one else can come in. FYI.
That is an important note, yes. Um, but it's not, death on the live servers is not that big of a deal. Death on
Nope.
this server,
It's everything.
game over, man. Yeah, you have to live for that. That being said, how many tips do we want to do? You want to do a couple of tips really fast?
Sure, if you got a couple.
Okay. If you pre-purchase Sharn, something that I didn't realize is your Sharn ticket only has like a second or two activation time.
Yep.
So if you set up because it has a multi-selector menu, if you set up a location to fast teleport to on your bar, you have an escape button.
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful that if you're using that everybody else in the party has one too, or they can get out in another way. You don't want to spawn a Reaper, and I'm practical experience. You don't want to spawn a Reaper, have that Reaper chasing everybody, and someone go, okay, let's get out of the quest. And you're like, all right, done. Boom. You hit the one button, you teleport to safety. And the guy who can't do that is like, I can't believe you just left me. Like, you said get out. Like, you said to leave. He's like, yeah, but now he just instantly is aggroed on me. There's no one else for it to jump to, and I'm just dead. So you gotta be like, you don't want that. But at that same point in time, like the party starts to wipe, I'm gonna hit that button.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it's every man for himself.
Unfortunately, it's unfortunate but true. I mentioned farming a little bit earlier. There's certain places in the game where you can farm at very little risk or no risk. So, and especially now that they open it up, the Explorer Zone, for example, Three Barrel Cove. It's a great place to farm. Almost every chest out there has a good, if not an amazing piece of loot to go farm up. The Rune Arm is really good, obviously. You have a suit of Mithril Plate Mail out there you can farm up. You have leather armor that has like really high DR. You have the dagger that's insane. You have the Tiefling Blade, which is really good. Like, you can just go look at the list of named gear out there and how low risk it is to go farm those things. And you can do that whenever you are low manned, but you still want to contribute working towards that. If you're a little bit braver, a little bit better at ranged, something that I have started doing is, what's the giant quest in House P?
Small problem?
Sorry, House J. Between
Willow?
like the Red Willow's wounds. So that first chest, right? You run in. There's like 3 regular trolls, a troll shaman, and the red name troll.
Right.
There are 2 really great named items that come out of that chest. You have the Ring of Regeneration, and you have the Cloak of Trolls Resistance, which is a 2-slotted cloak that has basically it comes pre-slotted, so it has 3 different resistances. So the only resistance that you no longer have 10 on is fire and acid. So you can just get a fire and acid, and then you have 10 in all of your stats, which 10 doesn't sound like a lot, but 10's a lot.
0.
10's a lot when you're trying not to get murdered by a random lightning bolt. So like those are a couple of places that I have been farming in my spare time and trying to hunt things up for. My other big strategy is don't be afraid to get a couple of levels before you go back to clean up favor.
Oh yeah.
Use the explorers again. You know, even a 1 pass through an explorer zone can get you a couple of ranks, if not more than that. So use them. They're low risk XP to get you to the point where you can move back into the questing to get what you need. Because if you are going in on quest, like the level 2 quest, if you're going in at level 4 or 5, there's so much XP there, it doesn't matter. You're going to get it done. You know, even if you're going in at 6 to clean up favor, you're still going to end up with XP. So do that low risk XP early on, get that stuff going, and just go to town. The other big hint that I cannot de-stress enough is have a core group of people, even if it's just 1 or 2 other people, like Beef,
it helps,
or Top Hat to Lab, or Forehand. You know, I've got these core of like 4 people, right? If it's me and Beef, I know that we can go do X. If it's me and Talab, I know we can go do X. If it's me and Forehand, me and Forehand don't quite have as good a relationship yet, but we know that we can go handle, Y, and if we get all four of us together, oh man, we can just go to town,
Mhm.
So develop that relationship. Don't be afraid of hitting the pug LFM. Like again, if you have like you and one other person, throw a pug up. See if you can get a couple of slots in there. Be cautious because they're pugs.
Don't
But
stand next to
don't
exploding
be afraid.
barrels.
That if shoes in the quest, be careful that there's no exploding barrels. So those are my main tips.
I'm
Definitely
considering
spend the
who I
money
would
and go
want to
do it.
run a quest like Undermine with.
Yeah, I don't
Although
know. I have no
I
idea.
should, based on my documented experience in DDOCast Plat, I should probably be more concerned about who would be willing to run Undermine with me. Because
Yeah, that's
we played that in permadeath. I mean, you could raise people, not
Jet
hardcore,
Scrolls.
but I blew up Lessa in permadeath
Oh
and a
man.
couple other people.
Yeah, I disadvantages of the hardcore league that I think is a little bit extreme real fast. I know we're getting kind of close to where we thought we'd be for time. I feel like the absolutely no race is harsh. Right? I feel like there should be a window. I feel like this
Like
is
if you
the
had like
thing.
10 seconds.
Yeah, like 10 seconds, but I also feel like maybe you have or 20 seconds, something like that. But I feel like if a scroll drops in a chest for you, you should be able to do it. Or if a cleric, because a cleric losing that ability really hurts. Like that's a big advantage of a divine spellcaster is to be able to
Sure.
cast raised dead. So it'd almost be nice if there was a flag that you had like two,
I mean, if
right?
if just pour your Cellstone out and you had until you snap to get a raise.
That or like you could get raised one time and it was a flag, and then if you were flagged for mortality and you died a second time, then you were done.
I don't know. I mean, I think
But not being
that
able to
functionally changes everything in the server though, and
it
I
does
like how it
does
is. So
it does. I just feel like you should have a little bit of. I feel like a little bit more leniency after level 10? Because again, I don't think that you should just go buy 1,000 res scrolls, right? I think that's the mentality. I would have not sold res scrolls, and I would have increased the expense of that level. Like I would have changed res to have a different spell component cost. That would have been expensive. Expensive compared to DDO expensive,
sure.
right? And then, like I said, if there was just a flag on your character, like there's no deaths, boom, died once, boom, die a second time, you go to mortality. Again, I think these are variations that they can play with for Hardcore League 2, Season 2. And I think if you don't make it too often, like if you make this a yearly thing for 3 months, I think especially like when the server has that natural dip, I think that'll help bring DDO players back through that dip, and they'll continue to be able to ride it. And you can do all sorts of variations. You can do variations where, like right now, it's Super Hardcore League, but then you can have Hardcore League Plus, where everyone jumps to level 4 instead of level 1,
Sure.
or Hardcore League Plus Plus, where you can only play a class one time, right? Until you played every class, and then unless if you die, then you have to redo things. I think there's infinite number of possibilities to recycle this idea with little variations to make it a lot of fun. And I would very much like to see this mentality continue to go either every 6 months or every year or so.
Yeah, I can see some variations. They don't even have to be hardcore related. They could do other kind of temporary server kind of stuff too. So
well, and it gives us an excuse because I normally play on Solona and you normally play on
Kyber.
Kyber, thank you. I like the K one, but on Kyber, and we could play together.
We should.
And I'm on Samus. People are welcome to hit me up anytime if I happen to be on there playing. I've got a few other people. If I'm playing, I'm pretty much streaming it, so you can always find me. But people have an opportunity to check out and play with people that you normally don't get to play with.
I ran into someone who used to be in my guild and switched servers when that guild kind of petered out a little bit. And I haven't played with him in probably 6 or 7 years, and I got to play with him last night, so it was kind of fun.
See, and that's another hidden perk of the hardcore league.
Mm-hmm. Great. I'm not sure how often I want it to come back. And I'd like to. I have other things that I want to be doing, but I'm having so much fun doing this. So
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I feel like maybe a year. I feel like 6 months at 3 months is too long, but I feel like a year probably
maybe
about right.
If I hit all those benchmarks, I'm gonna be done. Like I'm gonna
all of the benchmarks.
Well,
man,
other than the leaderboard.
Whew. That's a lot of benchmarks, dude. I don't know.
It's doable. Totally doable.
It is doable. And that's
5,000 favor, 20 action points. I can do that.
It is a marathon and not a sprint. That's what I keep telling myself as I die like twice a day.
Stop dying.
I'm level
it makes
5
it easier.
Again. Boom. I'm level 5 again. Boom. Oh man.
Well, hey,
it's so much fun.
Go over where people can find you again, what you're up to, that kind of stuff.
Sure. So I am, of course, Samius Gurobo, both at twitch.tv and youtube.com. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could jump over there when you get a chance and at least hit the follow/subscribe buttons, depending on where you're at. It makes a big deal. You can also find my Patreon at patreon.com/Samus. Also a big deal. I really appreciate it. In fact, I have a goal when we get to 20 patrons. I will start playing the original 28-point build Samus. He's currently, I think, on Thelanis by himself with all of the bad gear from that time frame. So the plan will be, if I hit that 20 patron goal, I will start playing him in Reapers with Pugs, 28 points. I will prove to you guys that you can do it.
Poorly geared as he is. You can't.
Poorly geared as he is. And we'll figure it out together. So you check that out. You can also check out a multi-Twitch. I do a lot of multi-Twitch with people. Like every other Thursday, Top Hat to Lab and myself, Nivmin. I've actually since started calling him Nimmind lately, so I have to stop and think about it because it's Jerry. But Nivmin, Shu Cobbles or Shu from Technical 13, Top Hat to Lab from his Twitch. We all play D&D every other Thursday. We stream that. But of course, Monday through Thursday, I do 2 DDO streams. I do the lunch hours and the midnights. So I start at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I play until about 2 or 3. Sometimes I start a little early and go a little late, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're free on your lunch hour, you can pop in. And then I start at least by 10 p.m. in the evenings, and I stream until like the wee hours of the morning for people who are doing the evening stuff. And this way, it also usually doesn't hit like Stream Tom, so people can go watch Stream Tom on Mondays, and a lot of the DDO people kind of fill in that. I'm the guy who picks up all the extra slack, I guess is what I'm saying. If you want to watch DDO 24/7, that's me. And then of course I do Friday mornings as well. So you can check all those things out. But yeah, I have the feeling that today I'm probably going to eat and settle down. And I'm going to turn around and turn on some hardcore server, I imagine, even today. But yep, twitch.tv/Samius Gurobo. And if I actually get your guys' questions and comments, I will start my new DDOcast segment while I was streaming, where you can ask me questions. The Samus of the Dear Abby of DDO.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for coming. It's great to have you back. We'll try to get you on a little bit more frequently.
It's so hard on the weekends.
Yeah, it is.
It's so hard.
I mean, you haven't even had breakfast yet, so.
And I won't for another at least half an hour.
You're in a much different time frame than I am.
It's a whole new world, right? I mean, we were joking before that my alarm didn't go off that I had set to record this, and we were planning this together. I was like, "Do you want to be done by noon? Like, if we have to be done by noon, that means we have to start by 9, which means I'm gonna have like 2 hours of sleep. But if that's what you want to do, Patrick, for the show, baby." But oh man, yeah, I need to be here more often. I enjoy doing DDOcast. It's been one of my favorite podcast to do forever and ever and ever. So talking about my favorite subject, me and DDO.
Well, thanks for everyone for listening to the show. Thanks, Samus, for joining me. Thanks to all the contributors for DDOcast and to Standing Stone Games and Wizard of the Coast and to Cyberbears for hosting the podcast. If you'd like to support the show, you can visit our website, DDOcast.com, or you can support us on Patreon. Don't forget you can also support Samus on Patreon. I'm sure he'd really appreciate that. If you have a DDO-themed webpage or you Twitch DDO and you'd like to be featured on our website, you can email us at ddocast@gmail.com. You can also hit us up at ddocast.com for show notes, MP3s, our calendar, previous shows, and other fun stuff. If you'd like to be a part of the show, if you have a comment on this episode, a question you'd like to hear us answer, a topic you'd like to hear us discuss, or you just want to say hi, you can leave a comment or you can email us at ddocast@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media and follow us for the latest cast updates at DDOcast on Twitter. So until next time, may all your attack rolls be crits, all your chest level appropriate, have fun, and don't forget to gather for buffs.